Welcome to French Blonde Travels. I'm Renee. Uh, we have been doing our little beach excursions, and last night was the full moon. I didn't get a chance to film it, and I'll explain. Uh, Yesterday, it was very, very windy. There were like 30-mile-an-hour winds on the beach, and it was just nothing you could do. The sand was blowing everywhere. We had sand was everywhere. So I went with Lulu, and we went to Planet Fitness, and we took a shower. And then I went and did some grocery shopping and some laundry. And then I met the ladies at this park where we stayed until just before sunset, and we wanted to go back to the beach. And the problem with that was the moon. It was full and the tide was very, very high. And we didn't trust that we were going to be safe parked on the sand without the water coming up. Um, we actually went to the beach after we left the park, and we could see that the tide was coming up across the road. And driving down the sand, it was like driving in slippery snow. Um, it was kind of difficult, so we didn't want to tempt fate and stay on the beach and potentially be stuck, buried in the sand, because the tide was coming up and it would have washed all the sand all around our tires and we would have been stuck. So we decided that we were going to spend the night at Planet Fitness. And um, we were in the parking lot. Initially, it was a little bit loud, but it did quiet down. Um, and I didn't cover my windows at all. I slept with my head towards the back instead of up toward the front. And the temperature dipped. It got quite chilly. So I put my long jammies on, my jammies that I didn't think I was going to wear until I went back home, made the trip back home. Um, but it's all good. You know, the sun is up now, and I'm back at the park. We're still not trusting this sand and the surf right now. So we're going to hang out at the park and maybe check it out. I don't know if it's going to be any better. It's not going to be quite as windy, but it's still a little bit windy. So um, we're going to try and do the best we can. And hang out at the park and maybe find other things to do. Who knows? But that's why we didn't stay at the beach last night. And I am kind of tired, but I'm going to have some coffee and some breakfast. The ladies are still at the Planet Fitness parking lot. I didn't want to make my breakfast in the parking lot, so I decided that I was going to come to the park and do it in peace. Just in the parking lot, I wouldn't really have to open my doors, but it's so much easier to get to my fridge if I get out, and I didn't want to get out because it's chilly. But I was parked between two cars, so it was really tight, and it would just be easier to come to the park. And there's no one here but me. I did see somebody riding a bike, but they're making their breakfast in the parking lot. It's probably easier, um, especially for Lulu, because everything is right at her fingertips, and everything's not at my fingertips here. And I can do it without getting out, but it means folding the bed into a chair. And I just didn't feel like it. So here I am, all by myself at the park. But it's fine. So I'm in the back. Oh, my tripod is falling. I'm in the back and I'm making my breakfast. Or I was attempting to make my breakfast, and I noticed that my power station isn't charging and the car is running. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? So when I looked at the inverter, the little light indicator to show that it's on was not lit. So I'm pulling things around, trying to get to the little 12-volt plug and everything, pull it out, put it back in, and the light won't come on. So there's two outlets on the inverter. So I pulled it out of the one and put it in the other, and it started charging. So I think I'm going to have to get in touch with the company and let them know that the inverter stopped working. That's just not cool. I need both outlets to work, and I need the indicator light to come on so that I know that it's on. It's charging now since I switched the plugs, but if one goes, who's to say the other one won't go? So I'll have to write the company and let them know. I don't know if it's probably been more than a month since I got it, but they should still honor it. It should still work more than 90 days. That's just crazy. So that's where I'm at right now with my inverter. It is working. If it stops working, then I'm going to be upset. I will be upset. So let's just see how it goes for now. So coffee is done. It's getting hot in here. So I have the heat on. I figured as long as the car was going to be running, I might as well keep the heat on. I was going to do some like Walmart shopping today, but I don't want to. I love my mini dashes. Have I said that before? They just cook everything so quickly. The coffee's extra strong today. I ground some up a couple of days ago. I just grind enough for a couple of days at a time. And I have an old package. This one is empty. So when I grind it, I store. Look at that mess. I store the coffee in here once I grind it. And I was at the very end of it this morning. So when I put the scoop in to scoop the coffee out, I wasn't getting a full scoop. And when I looked in the bag, it didn't look like it was that much. So I just poured the rest of it into the coffee maker. It's a little bit more than what I needed. So the coffee's kind of strong today. But that's good. Put hair on your chest. As if I need any more hair. So I'm going to grind a little bit because I like to have 2 cups of coffee in the morning. It's my happy medium. When I was working, I used to drink I drank coffee all day, so I had like 10, 15 cups of coffee a day. And then I quit cold turkey for a lot of years. And one day somebody was making coffee and it smelled good, so I decided to start drinking it again. But sometimes I only have 1 cup, but most of the time I have 2 cups. So then when it gets all done, I'm going to have to turn the heat off. It's hot in here now. Then I just pour it in the bag. I'm working with very little counter space here, but believe it or not, it's actually more counter space than I have at home. I wonder if I can get it all in there. So that's the end of this coffee. I bought more coffee when I went to the grocery store yesterday because I knew I was low. I found a low-carb bread at the grocery store. So I'm going to try it out. Oh, look at that. Miss Lulu's here. Her car is so quiet, I never even hear it coming. Not paying attention to what I'm doing, which is, that's a recipe for disaster. So now that's ready for when I want to make a second cup. If I have one, because this, like I said, is pretty strong coffee. So I don't know if I'll have one or not. Where's my coffee scoop? See what I mean? You gotta be organized or you're gonna lose everything. So I'm done with the grinder, so I'm gonna put that away. My sausage is already done, and I'm still toasting bread. But I think the bread is done. It's done enough. So I can make my eggs. Oh, there's the shell. Get that shell out of there. I like to run the car um, so that the inverter charges my power station while I use these appliances. That's smoked paprika. I have put it on my eggs before, but I prefer it on my meats. Ooh, lots of cayenne. That came out fast. So I'm all done with this coffee. Start to put some things away here. I'm going to set that right on top so that if I decide to make another cup of coffee, it'll be ready. It'll be right there. I'm going to take my jacket off because it's quite warm. Oh, I have a sweater on too. That's why. I forgot I had the sweater on too. Collar's too high for this microphone, so I don't want to get any kind of feedback or anything. And I'm going to empty the old grounds. Yeah, that was a lot of coffee that went in there. And I'm not going to refill it. Normally, when I have a second cup, I go right ahead and put the coffee in the filter. But I'm not going to do that this time because, like I said, this is pretty strong coffee. I'm not sure if I'll want another cup. I like my coffee strong. I get the medium roast instead of the dark roast. Um, the dark roast just tastes a little bit more bitter to me. So I get the medium roast. And I'm going to get dressed soon. It's supposed to get into the 70s today, but it's a little chilly right now. So I think it's still in the 50s, but the sun is coming up and it's warming things up. I think I'm going to turn the heat off. So in the Planet Fitness parking lot, I had mentioned I didn't put any covers on my windows. And I normally sleep with my head toward the front. But last night, because I didn't cover the windows, I didn't want to look really obvious. Just because there was cars all around me. I didn't get an end spot. I was right in the middle of the lot, so there were cars on both sides and in front of me. So I didn't put the window covers up, and I slept towards the back, so anybody walking by wouldn't be able to see me through the windows. So that worked out well, and it wasn't creepy or anything. Everybody's so concerned about being stealth. You're not really stealth. I saw another like a truck camper in the lot as I was leaving this morning. And as I was pulling out of the parking lot, there was an SUV that had a little pull along trailer behind it. So we weren't the only ones sleeping at the Planet Fitness last night. You know what I noticed that people um, that don't do this kind of camping, um, they're not aware that you're sleeping in the parking lot. So that's why it's quite noisy. When I first pulled in, there was a truck in front of me, a pickup truck. Gave me visions of being at the beach with that pickup truck and the loud music, right? So when the guy came out of Planet Fitness, he got in his truck and he turned his music on, and it was loud. Um, people do their business and then they go on and, do the rest of their day or their night or whatever they're doing. But this guy sat there in the parking lot thumping his music right in front of me for like half an hour. I'm like, what the heck? Like, just go already. You don't have to sit there and listen to the music. I don't know what he was doing in there. I don't know. But he was just sitting there playing loud music. But these are the things that you have to deal with if you're going to park in a public parking lot. So, and what could I do? Get out of my car and say, go somewhere else and play your music? You can't do that, you know. And this isn't even my home state. I wouldn't I couldn't run home real quick if something happened. So, but it wasn't really late and I was able to deal with it and everything turned out okay. But I'm going to have my breakfast and then when I'm done, I'll show you what the park looks like. It's just a regular old city park. Um, it does have bathrooms. Yay. I like that with running water and soap. No paper towels, but you can dry your own hands or let them air dry. But I'll show you that when I'm finished with my breakfast. Trees line the parking lot. Garbage cans everywhere. And you can see the other side also has trees lining the parking lot. And there's the ladies again. We can't decide if we want sun or if we want shade. So we're in and out of the sun and the shade. They have handicap parking spaces here. Plenty of trash cans. And this nice pavilion. Lots and lots of picnic tables. You could do a really big function here if you wanted. Trash cans line the pavilion on three sides. So it's pretty nice. There's the restroom, which is lovely. There's a field here, but I'm not really sure. Those are fences, so I'm not really sure if they play any sport games here or anything. It kind of looks like it could be a baseball diamond, but not really. Look, a table It's a nice metal table that you could maybe prepare things or take tickets or something. And then this walkway, and these tables. And they're movable, it looks like, and it looks like you could set up something really cool here. This looks like a fire oven. Can you imagine what kind of barbecues they have here? I bet it's huge. I've never seen a city park with a sink. It's got running water, just one temperature it looks like, but a sink with running water. Can you stand it? There's a dumpster over there. And it looks like they have power outlets. They do. Look at that. How wonderful. I mean, it's not a very big park or anything like that, but it is something that we've been enjoying for the last couple of days. Restroom. It's a little bit dark. You've got hand sanitizer, you got soap, you got sinks, and then there's 2, 4, 6 stalls. And they're pretty decent and pretty clean and well stocked. On the whole, it's been a really nice park to hang out with and get away from the wind and the sand that's on the beach and escape sinking in the tide. But this is where we've been spending the day today. We spent the afternoon here yesterday because there were 30-mile-an-hour winds on the beach. So it's been really pleasant. The winds are expected to continue, and the tide is expected to be pretty high tonight as well. So we'll probably spend another night at the Planet Fitness and then probably go back to the beach tomorrow if the winds aren't going to be too strong. So that's what we did today after our admin day yesterday. And I was doing a little bit of cooking. I got some food cooked for the next few days. And the parks people come along and they take out the garbage. And now that I'm done cooking, I'm going to do my cleanup and wash my dishes in the sink. That's going to be so much fun. Even though I hate doing dishes, it just will feel good that we've done our dishes in running water instead of spray bottles. But that's our day today. So that was our little excursion in the park. Um, the other park, Morrison Park, we didn't hang out in because it didn't really suit our needs. Really, there was very little parking, like on the street, and then there was a hill, a bit of a hill to go down to actually be in the park area. And so we didn't want to be climbing up and down the hills all day because, during the day we go in and out of our vans um, frequently, to get things to eat, to cook, all that kind of stuff. So we didn't really hang out at Morrison Park. We ended up going back to Dunbar Park and we spent 3 or 4 days at Dunbar Park. And It suited our needs. We were waiting out the winds and the tides so that could go back to the beach. And we actually went to a different beach yesterday, but the tides were still kind of high. So we found yet another beach to hang out at, and we're on this new beach now. But before coming to the beach, Laura and I went and checked out downtown Galveston. It was pretty neat. And that will be in an upcoming video. I'll show you that. But that was our beach bumming excursion. So I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate that you watched. Thank you for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.